I am recording.
So am I. Let's do this.
Wait. Hello and welcome to Under the Visor, the weekly Formula One podcast where one of us knows exactly what he's talking about.
And the other one is still very much learning.
I'm Carl.
And I'm Tom.
And this week we're doing something a little bit different because McLaren are celebrating their 1000th Formula One race at Monaco this weekend.
It's very exciting, a little bit ridiculous when you think about it, but I'm excited.
It is, yes. We've done driver careers before, in between races. We've done seasons before, but we've never really looked at the history of one of Formula One's biggest teams.
The biggest. And if you're going to start somewhere, McLaren probably is the place to begin.
Yeah, so today we're going to look at how a team started by a New Zealander in the 60s became one of the most successful names in motorsport history.
We'll cover the highs, the lows, the championships, the rivalries, the disasters last weekend, and somehow fit Senna, Prost, Hakkinen, Hamilton, Alonso, Norris, and Oscar Piastri into one episode.
Made me hungry now. But before all of that, let's start with some news. Because we spoke recently about the share of Alpine being up for sale, and there were multiple people interested,
including Christian Horner.
Well, Mercedes have reportedly pulled out of the talks, which is a little bit of a shock, if I'm honest, because they seem to be one of the bigger, the front runners.
Yeah, which if you'd said that sentence a couple of years ago, we would have been like, oh well, that's a bit absurd and ridiculous.
Yeah, well, the reported issue seems to have been the valuation,
and that's where these deals often, end for fall apart for everybody. Everybody loves a deal, and everyone likes the idea of buying into a Formula One team. Mercedes wanted a junior program. Until somebody puts an actual number on the table and they sort of go, we're doing okay at the moment. Do we need a junior team? Yeah, it's I feel like it's one of those where, when you go, well, how much is that handbag? And you're like, well, if you need to ask, you can't afford it. Like a Gucci Racing, Alpine Racing, Formula One team hat.
We're going to come on to that. Yeah, do you think Mercedes were genuinely interested?
I think they were. I think they wanted... I think obviously Alpine has improved massively to where they were. They've got a big investment behind them. Before the Gucci stuff, they still had big investment. Yeah. And I do think that Mercedes want a junior team. Red Bull have shown how well it can work. Max Verstappen, Sebastian Vettel. So I think Mercedes did want that and wanted to also say, yeah, look, we're here to stay. We're not here for the short term or to go again. But I don't believe... I struggle also to go, did money really come into it? The Mercedes-Benz, they've got a lot of money. I think it was just everything didn't really fall into place. But we'll talk about that with the Gucci stuff, because maybe that's been bubbling away for a long time and...
Maybe. I mean, it's the 24% share, I think. And from what I saw earlier, it was valued at about 700 and something million. And the whole team is apparently valued at about 2 or 3 billion.
Yeah, I don't think 24% would have been enough for Mercedes. I think they would have wanted the team. 100%.
Yeah.
And that would have been the end of it. So I think that would have also put them off.
Yeah, well, let's move on to something that you're quite opinionated on. Now, I don't have an opinion because I don't really, I don't know any other FIA president. However, Mohammed Ben Sulayem is proposing the removal of term limits to the FIA presidency.
Now, it's all a bit weird. A lot of the drivers, there's rumours they don't like Ben Salim. When he was re-elected, he'd found some rule to make sure that he could be elected unopposed. So he was the only one that could run, so obviously he was picked. Now he's trying to get rid of the term limits, which have always been in place. You can run for 12 years. But basically, you can be FIA president for 12 years. Now,
three terms of 4 years.
Yeah, so when I started watching, it was a guy called Max Mosley, who was... Was he the News of the World?
No,
you're thinking of...
Media mogul.
No, you're thinking of...
someone else.
Max... Oh, Google it.
I am.
Other search engines are available. No, you're thinking of... Oh, what's his name?
Rupert Murdoch.
That's it, Rupert Murdoch. So, Max Mosley, and then it went to Jean Todt, and then Ben Saloon. Now, he was the one that started, the controversy in the Verstappen Hamilton season. He's just a bit of a weird guy. Like, he'll like stroke the driver's hair, and he's just sort of, he's like a smell that lingers around, and nobody really likes him, and nobody really wants to interact with him. And if this goes through, that's bad news, because he's not even an old guy. If Trump decides to get rid of the elections in America, it'd probably be dead in a few years anyway. So, but this guy isn't that old. He's quite fit. And he's not very good for the sports. And I say sports as he runs the FIA. So FIA World Rally Championship, FIA World Endurance Championship. FIA are involved in everything, not just Formula One. They are the governing body. So I don't like him. I think he should go. And it turns Formula One into more of a dictatorship. If someone can be run opposed like he's already done, and then get rid of the term limits, it seems a bit silly. But we'll have to do something on Max Mosley one day, because there's...
Well, the reason his name and the News of the World pinged a spark in my mind is because he sued the News of the World.
Yes, because they...
in quite a high-profile case.
Sex scandal case. Basically, he got caught with some escorts, and I mean, it was kind of one of their News of the World stings, I believe. You know how they used to do stings and tap people's phones, and lovely people. And he got caught in that. But that's another thing that, what happens if you get caught with that? Can you get fired from the FIA? Who knows?
Okay, well, Mercedes have revealed what happened to Russell. In Canada.
Unfortunately, it really wasn't his fault. It wasn't anything dramatic, and there's nothing he could have done about it, really.
No, it was just basically a battery failure.
Yeah, catastrophic battery failure.
Yeah, which is painful for him, because he was in a really, really good position.
That is one of the worst types of retirement, when you're running well and something mechanical just says no.
Yeah. Aston Martin are looking forward to Monaco. Alonso has suggested that it could be one of Aston Martin's better opportunities this season. Yeah,
and to be fair, if you're witnessing straight line speed, Monaco isn't the worst place. If your car's good. Now, notably, if they're saying that it's the Honda engine that's the problem, and not the chassis that's designed by Adrian Newey, and in fact, we can take the corners at exactly the same speed as a Mercedes. It's actually the engine that's letting us down along the straights that's making the slow and the power out of the corners. Then we should see them. I mean, Lance Stroll is shit. But I saw a thing today about is he the worst ever F1 driver? Yes. Even worse than that. What was his name? The Torpedo. Oh, what was his name? Oh, well, you can Google it. He was called the Torpedo, and he was named by Verstappen. Vettel, sorry. Anyway, so yeah, it'd be nice to see. Also, have you seen that Lego have announced they are bringing out a 1/8 big model of the Aston Martin? It'll probably leave the shops faster than they leave. But Yes.
Yeah, I'm not. I've only got one Lego Technic car in my collection.
Right.
And it's a NASCAR.
Oh, okay.
It's just.
Okay, yeah, we can all see that. Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah, I like the speed. Oh no, that's a lie. I've also got that.
Is that a Technic as well then?
Yeah.
But I always think the price point's just a little bit too high.
Yeah. Well, that's yeah. Anyway, speaking about straights and straight line speed and whatnot. There's a lack of straight mode sections.
There's none.
By lack, there is none.
There is none, and I kind of get it.
Yeah.
So the way that the ruling works is it's got to be open for a minimum of 3 seconds.
Yes.
It's got to be available to be used all the time, wet or dry.
Yes.
And there's got to be no danger to dry. So I get it, but flipping have a fucking forethought and go, well, if we introduce these new rule changes that everyone hates, and then we can't use them at certain tracks, would they have done the same at Jeddah? I mean, there's still walls all around it. In fact, it's faster than Monaco. So I think it's a little bit, and we managed DRS. You know, we managed to use DRS. They're still allowed to use, they're still going to be able to use the overtake button. Now, granted, historically, DRS or straight mode, whatever you want to call it this year, was never that effective there anyway. So we're not going to miss out on, oh my word, there were going to be hundreds of overtakes. It's Monaco. There's going to be no overtakes. It's going to be a Monaco Grand Prix, and afterwards we'll have a 10-minute podcast to go, well done, Kimi Antonelli. You did really well on getting qualifying pole. You got pole and you won the race. And George Russell, you know, car broke down and he had extra things in his car to throw this time, which is quite nice. So we might be surprised. It might be an amazing Monaco Grand Prix. I hope it is. I think it will be very close.
Yeah. And then we've touched on it already, but Alpine have now confirmed the Gucci title partnership for the 2027 season, and they're rebranding the team to Gucci Racing Alpine Formula One team.
Yay!
Yeah.
Honestly, Formula One has become so mainstream that nothing really surprises me. I was in Tesco's and I found a bottle of No, I didn't. Jack Daniels. Actually, I got a picture of it. Hang on. You probably won't be able to see it, but I'll show you anyway. Yeah. McLaren.
Oh, yeah.
Jack Daniels. 25 quid that I didn't have.
Oh, cool.
I would have bought otherwise. And then it would have just sat in the cupboard.
Yeah, I mean, I don't drink, and I've got a bottle of Sidemen XIX first batch vodka.
There you go. And I don't drink that just much, so...
It's in a box, and maybe one day it'll be worth more than a penny. I don't know
if it's going to be just the box on that. I imagine it is. But if it was the bottle as well, that would be nice.
Yeah. They've also, McLaren have explained their tyre gamble in Canada. Your favourite conversation at the minute.
The intermediate tyre decision.
Yeah. Basically, they felt the track was going to remain damp enough to justify the call, but the weather had other ideas. And because they then did 3 formation laps, it dried the track up quicker than they thought. That's why.
Change the tyres then! You could have come into the pits and changed the tyres! Don't go, we thought it was going to be a little bit wet, so we didn't change the tyres, and then we did 3 formation laps, and that actually dried the track up quite a lot. Did you pit then? No. Why not? Yeah, we're damping the head as well. So just change the tyres. I mean, like I say, the only saving grace for it was that Lando retired.
Yeah. Yeah.
But now we head into Monaco for their 1000th race. They have to do well. I've got the cap, as you can see, which has been sat on my table since April. Yeah, April, because it was meant to be Miami, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But obviously they cancelled 2 of the races, so they've shifted it on to Monaco. And you, what do you call them? Conspiracy theorists will go, oh, yeah, Monaco is quite a handy place having a 1000th Grand Prix.
Well, it's where it started for them, didn't it?
Yeah, the only good thing is that they haven't put Miami all over the hat or over the stuff.
That would have been a mistake.
But they did finish, because obviously in Miami they had all the concerts and stuff like that to celebrate. They'd put everything into place. They still did all of that for everybody, which is nice. When do you think they'll finish in their thousandth race then?
Probably 1,000th, knowing our luck.
Let's hope it doesn't fucking even spit with fucking rain. Let's hope there's no rain even in France.
I mean, I'll tell you what, we'll do some predictions at the end.
Okay.
Let's do some predictions at the end.
Okay.
So let's start at the beginning. Who exactly was Bruce McLaren?
So Bruce McLaren was one of those...
Bruce McLaren?
What did I say?
You said Bruce McLaren.
Start again.
No.
Okay. Right. So Bruce McLaren was one of those rare people, right? Who wasn't just a driver, or quite a good driver as well. Wasn't just a driver. He was an engineer, team owner, and innovator, all rolled into one quite cool guy.
Okay, and successful driver then.
Yeah, very. He won Formula One races for Cooper, and he became the youngest, let me get this right, the youngest Grand Prix winner at the time. Obviously, we've now had others.
Max and Kimi and Lewis.
Yeah.
Okay, well that's quite impressive then. He's a bit of a jack of all trades.
Yeah, most people would have stopped there, right?
Yeah, but not Bruce.
No. In 1963, he founded the Bruce McLaren motor racing team.
Okay, and that assumes what has now become McLaren.
McLaren, yeah. McLaren, yeah.
So the Monaco connection?
So McLaren's first ever Formula One race was Monaco 1966.
Okay.
So it just sort of links in, because obviously this wouldn't be their, let's make it clear, this wouldn't have been their 1000th race. Oh my word. It wouldn't have been their 1000th race if they hadn't have cancelled the 2 races earlier in the season. It would have been Miami. Okay. So it's just lucked in, kind of, because they've obviously spent a lot of money getting everything ready for Miami, and now it's moved to, But anyway, their first ever Formula One race was 1966. The year we won the World Cup. Get in.
Yeah, my parents were born.
Were they?
Yeah.
Aren't you young? You're 53, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah,
sure.
Him young.
Sure.
That's the north of England for you.
I was born in London. And I know where in London as well.
Just go. Renewed my passport the other day as well, and it says it in big fucking writing.
Is it?
Anyway, McLaren's first ever race was 1966 in Monaco. Carry on.
All right, so their 1000th races happened in the same circuit where it all began. How full circle?
How full circle? Yeah, it's almost a little bit too perfect if they hadn't spent all the money thinking it was going to be at Miami.
Yeah, well, one thing I didn't realise until researching for this episode is how close they actually came to disappearing at one point.
I'd say more than one point. But the time you're talking about, I think, is very early on.
It is, yeah. Because Bruce died in 1970.
Yeah, he was testing a Can-Am car at Goodwood.
Do you remember that? You're old. Anyway, 1-0 me. And at that point, the team wasn't the giant that we know today.
No, not even close. It was just a piddly little team. We were only talking 4 years into McLaren.
Right, well, how did they survive then?
Through sheer determination, really. There was a guy called Teddy Mayer and people around the team that refused to let Bruce's team die. Sort of like, Bruce was amazing, he did all of this stuff for us. Let's try and keep it going for him.
Right, okay. Well, that's quite fitting then, considering how much reinvention becomes part of their story later on.
Exactly. McLaren's history is a long story of nearly going out of existence and rebuilding and coming back.
Right, okay. So when did the championship start arriving?
So the first major breakthrough comes with a guy called Emerson Fittipaldi in 1974. I've met Emerson. Name. Very nice guy. He's still around. Always goes to Goodwood for the Festival of Speed. But yeah, nice guy. But he won it in 1974. Okay.
Drivers' Championship.
And Constructors, more importantly.
Oh, okay. All right. So their first ever one, they do the double.
Then 2 years later comes the boy, the lad, James Hunt, turns up on the scene. Yeah. Absolute playboy, cigarette in this hand, girl in this hand, bottle of vodka under his shirt. You know, proper like, real like playboy of Formula One.
James Bond of Formula One.
Yeah, really was. He had the looks as well. I mean, yeah. He's now obviously done many roles in films. But have you seen Rush?
No, it's still on my watch list.
You have to watch Rush. One of the best films. But he was, you know, brilliant. And I'll tell you a little story just quickly because I'm sure you haven't put it in there. So when James Hunt finished racing, he went into commentary, and he went alongside the great Murray Walker, and they hated each other. James was this pretentious, you know, I'm a millionaire Formula One driver, and Murray was, well, I'm the best commentator. Both true. And there was this thing where they were commentating at one of the races and they shared a microphone. And Murray was saying something that he thought was very interesting, but James thought, well, what he had to say was much more interesting than what Murray was saying, and yanked the microphone out of Murray Walker's hand, and all you saw was Murray's fist go back, and he looked up, and the producer was like, nope, don't do that. Don't do that. And in the end, though, they did become very good friends. But yeah, so you can go back and you can listen to James Hunt commentary of him commentating on Formula One races.
Okay, so a bit of a rock star of Formula One then.
Pretty much, yeah. Yeah.
And then there's this quite famous battle with Niki Lauda in 76, right?
Yeah, that's Rush, basically. That's what the film is about, and it's still talked about today for many, many reasons. It was a really good. It was one of the great battles of Formula One.
I'll tell you what, I will watch that this week.
We can watch it together because I would like to see it again.
Yeah,
it's really good. And if you haven't watched it at home, it's on everything: Prime, Netflix,
or at the cinema, or at your mate's house, or on your phone on the bus.
Yeah. Or wherever you want it to. We'll set up multiple billboards on your bus journey so you can like get each frame. Anyway.
Yeah, you're going too far now.
Ron Dennis.
So when do they become a powerhouse then? This Ron Dennis.
Yeah, Ron Dennis. So Ron Dennis kind of changes everything.
Okay, explain.
So Ron Dennis merges Project 4 with McLaren, and completely changes how the team operates. So he's the first guy that they've brought in who's a businessman as well. I wouldn't say as strong as Zach is, but he really knew what he wanted and didn't take any shit, basically.
Okay, so when I researched this episode, I had to Google what Project 4 was. Right. And they were a Formula 2 and 3 team.
Yeah.
Project 4 Racing, and they were founded by Ron Dennis, who was a Brabham mechanic.
Yes, yeah. It's a bit like how Horner got into Formula 1. He was team principal in Formula 2, or it wasn't called that then, Formula 3000, whatever. But yeah, so yeah, he formed those and brought them together under one thing.
So a bit more professional.
Obsessively professional. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, but that's where the famous MP4 name starts, right?
Yes, so all of the McLarens, I assume they still are today. I haven't looked, but all of them were MP4, whatever. Like, and
it's the MCL 40 this
so
year.
they've changed it to McLaren, whatever. So, but they all used to be MP4, MP4, whatever, MP4 this, MP4 that. Yeah.
2016 it stopped.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
When did Ron Dennis leave the team?
After the 2016 season. Beginning the 2017 season, the team changed its naming convention to MCL to break from the era of former team boss Ron Dennis. When did Ron Dennis leave McLaren? He officially left June 30th, 2017.
Right, so yeah, so they were trying to get rid of him then because he didn't have the best departure.
He'd stepped down from his role as team principal in 2009, returned as CEO in 2014, and then left in 2017.
Yeah, and at that point, McLaren were on a real downhill trajectory again. Another one of the times where the team had nearly closed. We did touch on it in a previous episode. You know, Ron Dennis was fired, basically. He was fired from the team. And if you want to know more about that, go back to our episode on, what did we call it? You know, all the,
the controversies
in Formula One. Yeah, we touched on it in that one, and we explained more about why he was fired. But this is also the start of the carbon fiber revolution as well.
Okay. Which kind of changed F1 forever then. Yeah,
so when carbon fiber came in, it was so strong and so light, and they could do so much with it. Because before, if you think it was all aluminium, a bit of steel, and a bit of this, and it just bent really. But yeah, carbon fiber kind of changed everything. So yeah, it was a real wake up thing for Formula One.
So some may say then that if Bruce McLaren built the team, Ron Dennis built the empire.
Yeah, he's a bit like, who's that Sith thing with the lightning hands? He built the empire, but he also nearly took it down as well. He kind of
Space Odyssey, right?
Yeah. Space Odyssey X, Star Trek. But he did he get too big? Did he get too cocky? Because I'm sure we'll have to fact check this, and I may be wrong. And I'm not saying he did or didn't, but I think he was involved in that thing we touched on earlier with Max Mosley as well. But it was so he got very too big for his boots, really, and then obviously the team nearly crumbled around him. But yeah, it was never really talked about him leaving until afterwards, and he was sort of snuck out the back door, really. Thank you very much and goodbye.
So to fact check it, because I've done that already, because I'm that good, there was speculation that he was involved in the publication of the scandal because there was a very public feud and historic rivalry between Mosley and Ron.
Yeah. So it was never proven, but it was thought that he gave them the open door to get to whatever. But
So what feels like a chapter everyone's going to be waiting for? Senna v Prost. Or Senna and Prost, should I say?
Yeah, it's because when people think of McLaren, they usually think of Senna and Prost.
Greatest rivalry ever?
It's certainly, if you look at McLaren, they've had some really good rivalries. It's certainly in the conversation. You could also say that McLaren also had Hamilton and Alonso. That was really good rivalry. I don't think the Norris Piastri thing will ever be as good because they're too nice. They're too nice to each other. Oh, you ran me off the road. No worries, mate.
Sorry.
Yeah, so, I mean, you had Alonso blocking Hamilton in the pit lane. They hated each other. Then you had Senna and Prost who were taking each other off whenever they got the, So, yeah, it's one of the bigger rivalries, yes.
Okay. And I mean, what a great year! But how good was that 1988?
Ridiculous. Yeah, it was just it was a crazy car. Really good.
Crazy car, is that a technical term?
Yeah, that's a technical term. In fact, it said it at the top of the schematic for the car. It just went crazy car.
Did it?
Yeah.
Surprised they didn't have it spray painted on the side.
Yeah, too much weight. That's literally the only reason they didn't do it. Carbon fibre, you see, you don't want to save weight. Okay.
So 15 wins from 16 races.
Yeah, one of the most dominant seasons any team has ever had, and it probably was. It must be the most dominant because they won for a team, not a driver. But did Red Bull win every race? What? I don't know. Anyway, yes, one of the most successful.
And yet the story isn't about the car.
No, this one was about the drivers.
Because at first they actually got on.
Yeah, for a little while, yeah, they were friendly.
Yeah, and then suddenly McLaren had two of the greatest drivers ever fighting each other.
Yeah, completely. Exactly.
Yeah, which sounds brilliant.
Unless you're running the team. And it's a bit like what Toto Wolff has at the moment. He's got problems again.
Yeah. I mean, both drivers genuinely believe they were the best, though, but who would you take?
Out of Senna and Prost?
Yeah.
See, it's really difficult because everybody says Senna.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I would probably say Senna was the most aggressive, but Prost, as they called him, the professor, was the most, he thought about everything he did. He spent all the time. So I would probably go complete driver, probably Prost in that season.
Okay, interesting take. What happens after Senna?
McLaren go through a bit of a transition period before finding another superstar in Mika Hakkinen.
Okay, who often does get forgotten.
Unfairly in my books.
Well, he won back-to-back championships, didn't he?
He did, and he did it against Michael Schumacher. Now, in 1998, obviously Schumacher had moved to Ferrari in 96. Now, this is obviously, I started watching in 92 to 94 properly. And Schumacher was doing very well. And he beat Schumacher in 1998. And then 1999 came. Now, he won, obviously, back-to-back championships. But in 1999, Schumacher at Ferrari, start of the British Grand Prix, has a huge crash into Stowe. Breaks his legs. Is out for the season. And then it's left to Eddie Irvine, who was his teammate at the time, to try and Eddie Irvine, again, a bit of like a wish James Hunt. Bit of a player, bit of a playboy, bit of, Irish, luck of the charm and all of that. And so, yes, he did beat Schumacher. Only in 98, really. You can't really count 99. Now, would he have won it in 99 if Schumacher hadn't broken his legs? Probably not. Because it was very close between him and Irvine. And Irvine was nothing compared to the great Schumacher. So that's where we were, basically.
Okay. And then there was something about a Mercedes partnership.
Yeah.
Is that around this time?
Yeah, so Mercedes and McLaren become Formula One's most iconic. McLaren Mercedes is, I mean, we've got the McLaren F1. That was the partnership as well. The proper McLaren F1, 1997, I think that came out. You'd have to, again, have to fact check me because I'm just plucking names from, but I'm sure it was 97. But yeah, McLaren Mercedes was the iconic partnership for McLaren. It was brilliant. The Silver Arrows, they say, this is when the car was sponsored by West, a silver tobacco company, and they had Mercedes, so it was all a chrome silver car. None of the papaya that which is what it should be, McLaren should be papaya. Obviously, they went through the Marlborough stages before that when they were orange and white.
Yeah.
Then we went to the silver thing, and that was kind of golden McLaren, in my opinion, for fans. I mean, yes, they're trying to build it back up now, but before then, like I remember, you bought it was about £35 to become a member, and you got this box every year. You got a box, and in it came a McLaren members T-shirt, polo shirt, a hat. You got a key ring, you got a book, you got information. None of this email stuff back then. You got sent a booklet through the post. It was really good. And
you'd pay 35 quid for a key ring nowadays.
Exactly, and it was a really good deal. And they didn't have this big massive thing that they've got now, the MTC. Which, if you want to, I have actually done a tour of that as well. Which was amazing. I can't remember how. I think I just entered a competition, and I remember because I was in racing still at that point when I went to go around the MTC, and you had to declare that you were involved in motorsport. They didn't change anything, but they took you through certain bits. Obviously, they didn't show you stuff that you couldn't see. All the cars, the trophy cabinets, into the factory. They had a floor waiting to go out. It was a Friday. I remember it was a Friday because there was a practice session going on at the same time. McLaren were dog shit at that point, so they weren't winning anything, but it was still fun to go around and just view it so tidy and everything like that. So that was an amazing experience, and if I ever get that, we'll go together and we will do it.
Then we get to 2007.
Yes, one of the craziest seasons, definitely for McLaren, and probably in Formula One history.
Yeah, because Lewis arrives,
the rookie,
alongside Alonso.
The rookie.
Yes.
Doesn't know how many seasons he's done. He's still the rookie. But at this point, Alonso is the reigning double world champion. 2006 in Renault, won it. 2006, 2007. So he is the king at the moment. He is the reigning double world champion, the best driver anyone's ever seen. Still very highly rated nowadays, but he was amazing.
But didn't Hamilton immediately start matching him though?
Yeah, which nobody really expected.
No, and then as we covered a couple of weeks ago, Spygate then happened.
Yeah, and then the teammate relationship, maybe to do with this and other things, but it kind of implodes.
Which is why neither win the championship then. Yeah,
they lose it by 1 point, I believe. What we're talking about, 2007. So Kimi Räikkönen won it in that year for Ferrari.
Okay. Very close still then.
Yeah, very close, but there was inter-team battling. The team had a lot of problems going on. It was all a bit at that point.
But Hamilton got his title the following year though, didn't he?
Yeah, one of the most dramatic finishes ever.
The famous Glock moment.
Yeah, they were at Brazil. It was raining and Timo Glock lost control and gave him the thing he needed. But this is also the season of Spygate, remember? Not Spygate, Crashgate. So Renault have gone from being double world champions to having to put cars in the wall to make Alonso win again.
Yeah, well, I don't really think F1's been that dramatic, or ever been more dramatic, should I say, than that final lap.
You could argue that the Hamilton Verstappen thing was also, but no, it was good to watch. Remember, Lewis Hamilton was Ron Dennis's
prodigy.
Yeah, he'd built him up from karting and blah 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 blah. So there was also probably a little bit of that for Alonso, where hang on, I'm the 2-time world champion. Who's this? Like, he's unproven, done nothing. And there was probably a lot of, when we talk about, you asked me the question the other week about the fairness, was somebody treated unfairly over the other person. Probably in this case, Lewis was, and I can't remember who we were talking about, but probably in this occasion, Lewis was treated unduly given more than Alonso, who was a proven two-time world champion.
Right, okay. So after this season, then the Hamilton winning there, that's when things start to go wrong.
Yeah, I mean, very wrong.
This is around the time where I started watching F1 actually. As Lewis came into the sport, I'd kind of caught bits, like I said in previous episodes. I never watched it religiously. I caught a bit of a race probably a couple of times a year, but I knew names of drivers.
Yeah.
And that, but McLaren weren't winning championships.
No. And that's because younger fans saw a completely different McLaren.
That's the Honda reunion,
which was supposed to recreate the glory days.
But instead we got the GP2 engine.
And a lot of frustration. It was terrible. It was rubbish.
Yeah, which is weird. Weird that Honda eventually became successful elsewhere.
Yeah, which suggests the problems weren't entirely one-sided. But the comeback. Yeah.
So how do we get from there to where we are today then?
Zak Brown.
Okay. We all know who Zak Brown is.
He is instrumental. He is so... This is where we talk about businessmen. Businessmen that are racers, that are this, that, and the other. And he was... I can never remember the quote, but he won't take somebody on if they spell his name wrong or if they ask his name. Right. You know, people should know at a job interview who you are and stuff like that. He's got a book out which I really want to read, which is all about business rather than racing, and he is so clever. And basically, he is the nicest guy that will punch you in the face if you fuck up.
Right.
Basically, I don't think you'd ever want to work for him, but you'd absolutely love working for him because he just takes no shit, basically.
Okay, but he's not just instrumental on the track though, is he? He's off it as well because the team suddenly kind of felt fun again. Exactly.
I mean, you've got the Red Bull element. And Red Bull have always been partying, swimming pools, having fun, enjoy yourselves. Like, work's work, then we're fun. And if we're doing well, the fun's even more. And that's what he brought to the team. That's what I mean. He's the nicest, fun guy, but you do not cross him. Like, you do not, you don't get in his way.
No. And then Lando arrives.
And everyone loves Lando. Really nice guy. Yeah. The fans connect with him immediately. He's loved, he's quick, he's fast, and he wears his heart on his sleeve and he tells everybody, and some people have criticised him for it, saying exactly what, he will blame himself for everything and he will tell you all straight up, you know, I fucked up, I did this, I did that. So,
yeah,
everyone connects with him.
And then Oscar joins.
Yeah, and then suddenly McLaren have one of the strongest driver pairings on the grid.
And then Andrea Stella takes over.
Yeah, the technical side improves dramatically. So Andre Stella is team principal. Zak Brown is CEO.
Yeah. And then that's when they kind of became a championship contender again.
Yeah, which felt impossible 10 years. You know, looking at McLaren, how far they've come since then. Crazy to win Constructors' Championships back to back. Lando to get his first world championship. Yes, they're struggling a little bit this year. Yes, they don't know the difference between wet and dry tyres, but we all make mistakes. And when they come, we'll talk later. But McLaren have definitely done a 360, shall we say?
Well, rumor is someone at McLaren said it's going to snow in Monaco.
Yeah, well they've got their nail tyres out probably.
Yeah, snow chains. So why does race number 1000 matter?
Because very few teams have ever survived it.
Yeah. And even fewer stay relevant.
Yes, McLaren has won the championship in, are you ready? In the 1970s, the 1980s, the 1990s, and the 2000s. And now they're back fighting at the front again.
Different owners, different drivers, but different regulations.
Same name.
And it all started from one guy from New Zealand who thought he could build a better racing car.
And that is why the story resonates so much.
Yeah. So, looking ahead to Monaco then.
The most glamorous race on the calendar. Yes.
It is, yes. Well, it's also arguably the most important qualifying session of the year.
Yeah, because the track's position is everything in Monaco.
Yeah. Well, McLaren's 1000th race.
Extra pressure.
Leclerc at home.
Extra pressure.
Norris and Oscar Pastry fighting for wins.
Extra pressure.
Basically, everyone's under pressure then.
That's Monaco.
Yeah. So, right. Who have you got for pole position?
Lando Norris.
Okay. Race winner?
Lando Norris.
Biggest surprise?
Lando Norris.
Okay.
Do you want me to tell you why?
My turn. Okay, yeah, go on then.
So, McLaren have been coming forward. I don't think they've got the quickest thing, right? But we're on a slower track, same as Aston Martin have said they're going to be quicker, blah, 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 blah. Mercedes are going to be very hindered. They can no longer pump their engine up to make it go boom, boom, boom really quickly.
They've also had to change their engine loophole for this race.
Correct. McLaren are very quick and qualify very quickly and are normally up there at the front of the grid. Ferrari are not so good in qualifying trim, but they make up for it at the start of the race. That's negated in this. You can't just ram your car through. There's not enough space in Monaco. There's not enough time to get to the first corner for Ferrari to be able to use all of their power at the start of the race. So I think the best opportunity is for Lando and will win the race. And all your conspiracy theories will go, well, if they're going to manipulate Formula One, wouldn't it be nice if McLaren won their 1000th Grand Prix? So, I think it will be Lando Norris who wins the Grand Prix on Sunday.
Okay.
And go on then. So, your race winner?
I think it's going to be a Ferrari.
Okay.
I think the street circuit is really going to suit the Ferrari this year.
Okay. What's the moth in here?
Did you open your wallet?
Yeah, all of the moths have come out. I should get that closed. So, go on then. I'm going to push you. Who do you think it's going to be? Do you think it's going to be Charles Leclerc, or do you think it's going to be Lewis Hamilton?
I think it would be nice for Leclerc to get his home win.
Do you think he'll get pole and victory then?
Yeah.
Biggest surprise?
I think the biggest surprise will be that both Aston Martins finish the race.
Yeah, I mean, that could also be that maybe Alonso, it's not going to be Stroll, might score a point. I just got rid of you.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll see. We'll see on Sunday who is correct.
Yeah.
Probably none of us.
Okay. Probably, yeah. Well, that brings us to the end of this week's episode.
1,000 races of McLaren history somehow squeezed in to under an hour.
Yeah, just. We'll be back next week to review the Monaco Grand Prix and find out whether McLaren's 1000th race was one to remember.
Or whether they get the tyres wrong or decide to not put an engine in the car or something like this.
Yeah.
And be forgotten.
Put diesel in it.
Yeah, put diesel in it.
Yeah. But before we go, let's quickly run through the Monaco weekend timings for everybody.
So, practice is Friday. FP1 will be at 12:30 UK time, and FP2 will be at 4 p.m.
And then Saturday, FP3 will be 11:30 for one of the most important qualifying sessions of the entire season at 3 p.m.
And as always, say with Monaco qualifying, can be half the battle won.
Yeah. And then the Grand Prix itself gets underway on Sunday at 2 p.m. UK time.
So make sure you've got that in your diary, because Monaco always manages to produce a talking point, even when everyone says it's going to be boring.
Yeah. We'll also find out whether McLaren can celebrate race number 1000 with a win, a podium, or at the very least, avoid putting one of their cars into a wall.
Never guaranteed around Monaco, though.
No. But as always, thank you very much for listening.
But be sure to follow us on all our social media. Let us know your favourite McLaren driver, race, or controversy of all time.
Yeah, and while you're there, send us your Monaco predictions as well. Who's going to take pole, who's winning the race, and who's going to end up in the barriers first.
What?
The waste.
The waste, got you.
The waste.
We may or may not hold you accountable next week.
Yes, but we will see you next time.
Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.